Guess who's back? It's the Impact Podcast.
Who's back?
Yes.
Yes, we are back. We are back. So excited to be here. I got my girls with me.
Yay.
How is
We
everyone?
back. We
How
back.
is
We back.
we back? You know how they say back, better than ever, wiser, all the things. And guess what? That's what we're going to talk about today. We are talking about, I titled it The Heart of the Hustle. Why? Because we're human in our businesses. We ourselves are brands, right? And so I want us to have a conversation as the brand, as human beings, right? We always talk about mothers, entrepreneurs, we're all the things, but this is the hustle. So we're going to talk about the heart of the hustle. But here's the theme. We're going to talk about the state of the company. And let me frame a little bit about what state of the company is. It's so funny because in my early 20s, I worked for Chrysler Financial. First, like, it wasn't the first corporate job, but, I had to dress accordingly and all that. And every quarter, we would have a state of the company meeting. We all had to come into the big main cafeteria area, and they would tell us about how the business was doing. Did we meet the goals? And all we all heard, because many of us were young, was, did we meet the goal? Did we make a profit? And where's our bonus? Because we got a bonus. It was like a second income tax check, and we were like, we made it. But I now understand what they were doing. So in my company, we do state of the company every 3 months. Where did we land? How are we doing? How can we do better? And that's what we're going to do today as these three power-packed entrepreneurs who are making it happen, brands and all. We're checking in with our people. And so I'm going to go around on my screen. I'm going to start with Dr. Obiama. What is the state of your company? And when I say company, I'm talking about Dr. Obiama, the accountability coach strategist. Check in with us. How's it going with you?
Yeah, so I am in my season of rest and reset. At the end of the year, I normally go off of social media at least the last 3 months and just allow my team to post because I need to take a step back. I don't need to allow all of the foolery of what people are and are not doing kind of taint or shade my forecasting and my preparation for 2025 and beyond. So I'm in my rest and reset season as a brand, as a company, as a CEO, as a strategist, as a forecaster. And I am practicing something new. I am practicing something new in my reset. And there's so many things that we don't understand as to why things happen. But I've been reading this book. Actually, I've been listening to it on Audible called, I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's called the biblical, something about Jewish biblical principles, but it's business. I think it's business biblical principle, something. Anyway, it's written by a rabbi. And when I tell you he is given all of basic foundational business principles from the Bible in a way that is like, oh my goodness. And we never think about how much business is in the Bible, starting from the book of Genesis, right? And so I'm going to get you guys the link and to like listen to it, because when I tell you it is foundational, hardcore, just like things that we really should implement and incorporate in our business. I mean, from customer service things to basic accounting to forecasting to commerce to trading to bartering, like all the things. And it's so good. And so he talks about how in the Jewish culture and the Hebrew culture, like this is how they have been able to survive. And this is how they are known as, well, the Jewish hold on to their money, or the Jewish this or the Jewish that. And it starts back from their survival, and how they only had a gift, or they only had a talent, and how they would come together and say, well, if we both have a farm, but one person isn't good at farming, but another person is good at maybe the trading or maybe the agriculture, so then they would just combine, and one person would do the thing that they're good at, and the other person would do the other thing. And when I tell you guys, it is so phenomenal. It's really rich. So because of that, I am now incorporating, starting my new year the way the Jewish start their new year, which is October 2nd, in light of Rosh Hashanah. Like, I'm learning all these things. Is so transformational, just from a business perspective, but just also just spirituality. So yes, I'm in my reset season. Yes.
That's good. Who author? Larry Burkett?
It might be. I'm gonna look it up. It's in my Audible. It might be.
All right. I tried to pull it up, and so let us know.
Yes, that sounds familiar. Yes.
Okay.
I wanna read on that. And before I share my story, I just wanted to go back, Obiama. I shared this with Charla, my PR team, and she's Jewish. And I said something very interesting that happens within my life is that every business that I have ever done has been in connection with a Jewish person.
Mhm.
And every building that I own, every business that I have touched has been with a Jewish person, even start from my very first restaurant. And it's like something in our souls connect us and connect me to business with a Jewish, was so much so where I had one of my landlords, where we talk all the time. He just calls me when he's just not feeling well, and we just bounce ideas off of each other, which is pretty interesting to see that type of relationship with a woman that's not Jewish with a male Jewish, right? Very respectful. I love our conversations, and he invited me to his business circles. So there are in-person business circles that they do with their rabbis and everything. And he's like, I really would like for you to join us because you have so much to share. And we have to share in the way that you strategize and do business and do community work, and really keep things in a perspective that's all about God, that we would like to collaborate with you. So just don't think, for everybody that's listening, that it's just open to the Jewish community, because it's not. They're very welcoming to others, which I found that out. I never went, and I'm going to tell you why. It was out of my comfort zone, because I asked how many women were in this circle, and I would have been the only one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. So I decided to step back, and I said, when you grow a little bit, then you could come back and call me. But I cannot possibly be, because I'll be with a rabbi, and there's certain things that I'm not familiar with yet. And I just don't, I want to make sure I'm showing up respectfully, right? And
Well,
understanding.
that's all right. You got community now, so the three of us can go.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that would be something pretty amazing, and I'm gonna revisit. I thank you for reminding me that, because that happened last year actually. But how am I? What was the question, Aaliyah? Because I just kind of like lost it. So into it. What was
This
the question?
state of the company. Tell us a little bit about Damaris, the brand, your business, you overall.
Okay. So I'm not in a reset season. I don't feel like I've ever even reset. Actually, I just opened up my new child care center, which took forever. This one was a little bit more difficult than the other ones. Different politics. It is what it is. But it's beautiful. We had the ribbon cutting ceremony, so that was really great. I have people really, really interested in coming in there. Now I see the vision where I didn't see it before. I'm still going through a couple of little, hardships there, trying to get these uh, licenses in order, and stupid little tedious things. But that too, I will overcome. Um, I feel very positive about that. I'm enjoying my team this year. So I have new leaders underneath me, and I'm enjoying sitting back and watching them grow, giving them the tools, right? The nuggets, to work, with me, craziness, because anybody that knows me, I'm very uh, the ADHD-ish. I want to say I do have ADHD, so I'm on 20,000 things in one time, and I love the way that we're learning to work with each other, and I'm loving the way that they're leading in their own way. So that is, building that is really great for Children's Playhouse. We have new staff. We made it over the past magical 65 staffing, and that's
Whoop,
pretty.
whoop.
And we're not even that's what a soft opening. So we're projecting about maybe about 80 once we're really there. So that put me in a big girl state with these organizations, and I'm just excited about that. Partnerships are coming through, and little by little. I like Ellie J, Latino. I have to talk about Ellie J. Ellie J, the nonprofit, is doing amazingly. So much so that I'm not taking on everything, because Ellie J is a new nonprofit. It's been there for 3 years, and we want to make sure as a board, and you guys are part of the board, that the goal is definitely to be an impactful nonprofit, right? To make changes. Yes, we need funding for those things, but what are we getting funded for? So I'm really excited about our second annual Hispanic Literacy Month, and this year we
Whoop,
did.
whoop.
I know, I'm so excited about this. And then this year we did it with a community baby shower, because we need to teach our community sleep safe practices and have access to that, right? So we're going to give out all this other stuff, and I'm really excited about that. We got approved for ESL. We have a lot of things that are happening for the community, and I'm just excited about that. My coaching hat for IECS, I started and maneuvered in DC, which is not, in the area. I was used to like Pennsylvania. Now I'm in DC, and getting to know their practices. And I noticed that everybody struggles the same.
Yep.
It's the same thing everywhere. So that's, it was fun to hear what they do and what they're allowed to do and not allowed to do, and to connect, with the Hispanic community in DC in the childcare realm, and then give them business practices and so on and so forth. So this year I decided, like Obiama, she always says it's 2 months. I decided to give back, because I know not all money is good money. And it's, and I want to be very intentional about what I'm working on, so I don't lose the focus, because the devil's in play, right? And he's there to take the focus away of what, these impacts are going to be. So I'm really holding on to that and saying, how much time is this going to cost me, and how much time is this going to take away from my children? Because I have a child she's actually in high school, and she's a senior in high school. This is her last year with me before she goes to college, and I want to enjoy being a mom too, right? I want to, so yeah, I'm just trying to figure all that stuff out, barefoot and in business. Remember that?
That
Um,
was
yeah,
that's like barefoot and what?
barefoot in business, right? So, and it's because as women, we have to maneuver so many hats, like mom and housewife, and all this other stuff, and business, and teams, and coaching, and all this other fun stuff. So I'm just trying to figure that out, and it's okay, and and I'm okay. I feel fantastic, honestly. I feel accomplished, and yeah, yeah, and I feel okay to say no, if that makes sense. Before, I'm like, oh, I have to take this contract. If not, I'm gonna be seen like I can't. And I was like, no, it's okay.
You said yes to
Uh,
you. You said yes to you.
Yes, yes. And I'm a big cheerleader for that.
Yeah.
Because everything you say yes to, you are saying no to. And what you are saying no to, you are saying yes to. And both of those are expensive.
Yes, yes. So I'm saying no to all these contracts coming, and I'm very honored, right? I'm honored that I'm being contacted and sought out. Somebody, a provider, contacted me, and I say, "Hey, honey, I'm booked till January. Like, I'm literally booked to January." And she's like, "I'll wait. What? Can you open up your dates to January. And that was really, that was, that was, that was admiring, right? I felt so like, wow, this is really great that you will wait to January, but do you want somebody else I can try to offer you, And she was like, no, I'll wait for you. And I was like, okay. And yeah, so that's what's happening now. So it's pretty good. But long way from my coaching days with Obiama, right? Like mentorship. When we first started,
Baby steps.
yeah,
Baby steps, and I'm so proud of you. I'm always, when Aaliyah and I talk, I'm always like, look at where you began. Look at
right.
where you began. Look at, and look at your progress, which is why it's so important to celebrate the small wins, because we can get lost in the weeds with the, what's not working and what we don't have, and all the things. But when we pause to just celebrate what is working, it means all the difference.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
What's
It's
going
so,
on in your world, Aaliyah?
oh my God, listen, I was going to say, because I'm going to get into mine, but I'm like, even as both of you shared, there was like a glow and a happiness, and I'm just loving it. I'm so excited. But anyway, yeah, I feel like um, it's the space that I'm in of clarity that is so liberating, that is so empowering. I'm so excited about it because I just feel like I'm more clear about who I am, what I'm supposed to be doing, and what I want to do. And I feel like as soon as I started getting into that space, I started attracting the things that I wanted, that I said I wanted. And that's what's happening. So um, I'm in a similar space with the childcare businesses. I'm in my middle phase of transitioning out. So I'm asking a lot more questions of my team so that I'm not jumping in and being right the hero and the superwoman with all the answers. So what do you think? What's your thoughts? Tell me a little more about, so I'm doing that so that they can be empowered to handle things on their own. They are coming up with ideas. They are being creative. They are working together, um, which is exciting because I don't know, I can imagine if you experienced this or not, Damaris, but at one point that would have been really scary for me. Like, wait, I'm
To let
handing
it
over what?
go.
Yes, like, what do you mean you're not going to be there for, And so now I'm just like, how'd it go? And celebrating them and watching them celebrate the team and watching team members. I had one, Ms. Nafisa was like, I have a challenge I want to do. And she's doing, Damaris, you would be proud. She is doing a Spanish speaking challenge right now where she is going around to the classrooms and our staff who speak English, they have to learn a Spanish phrase. And some of our staff who are looking to increase their English, it's like the opposite. And so the children are helping. It is so fun. Every day she goes around and she's testing them. And it is extremely fun because our demographics has changed a lot. And so we have a lot more Spanish speaking families and children. And so we want to be authentic in what we're saying. And we don't really want to Google translate everything. But she came up with that on her own. And that's staff. That's not even admin. So I'm able to sit back and watch the growth of the team. My Pratt Street, the team is going out to dinner later. Our other site was not invited. It's just them. I was like,
That's big. That's big.
I said, who going out to dinner? That we are. My mom was
That
like, "Yeah, we got dinner." I said, oh, now usually, just so y'all know, we do things organization wide. Typically, it's like I come up with the idea and we all go. No. So I'm really just excited about watching their growth, which is a little scary a little bit because as they grow, you know how your kids grow up and they don't need you as much. It's like what you said you were going to go do, you have to go do because they're good. So yeah, we also just Isis, she has a nonprofit now, the nonprofit arm. ESL classes start next month. I'm excited
Nice.
woo,
about that.
woo, woo, woo.
excited. She's so excited she secured that. And then the coaching business is expanding. Like I have clients from a number of different states. They are not from, I have some in Philly, Pennsylvania, but my exposure is growing. And even in that, the clarity of, here's something that became really clear that we personally dealt with the Philadelphia subsidy payment thing. I just started being clear about the trends that are happening in business and the childcare business. It is not the same. It is not the same. And running our businesses like we used to is not the same. And so this thought of being creative business owners and being strategic is real. And the fact that I am clearer about that, I started getting excited about the different ways we can make changes within our organization so that we are not just sustainable, but we're still growing according to our 5-year goals. I had such an amazing mom and entrepreneur moment last night at my kids' back to school night. I said they were really talking the same language. They were like, well, where will we be in 2030? Here's what is new about us for 2024, 2025. It was exactly what I was talking about in regards to being strategic with the business and fundraising. And here's all the things you're going to see this year based on all the monies that we received. Here's what we're doing, but we're also thinking about the next. They're thinking about equitable pay for their staff. They have expanded their programming to pre-K, which I've been sharing with like my clients and stuff. Our competition is growing. It's not just the childcare program down the street. Private schools are being strategic. School districts are being strategic. And so what are we going to do to make sure our businesses are okay? Because she literally said, whenever your child turns 3, we accept them. She was like middle of so I was like, I was just inspired by, I said, this is what running a progressive organization looks like. And they spoke about their core values and what they're doing throughout the year and how it connects. Because I really love talking about core values and how we operate every day. And they're like, even their field trips, wherever they can, they get on the bus so they can, they get on public transportation so that they learn how to navigate the city and they can literally be a part of the community. And I was just like, this is really what I love and what I want to do. And I was like, I really want to show up differently as an entrepreneur, but also as a mom. So that's the last, I don't want to say it's the last piece. It's not last as in not as important, but the mom, the wife, the daughter, the sister, all the roles. I've been really working on those. I've been working on them.
You have. I just want to high five you. Like you and Damaris. I just want to high five you guys because number one, you guys are really, really great listeners, and you take fast action, right? And you see the results. And so we know that every great coach has coaches.
Yeah.
You know, and so you guys, even though you are so amazing and you are super bosses, right? You listen.
Yeah.
You listen. And you do the things and you see the results. And it's like that's half the battle.
Everybody needs somebody. I just want to say that. Everybody needs somebody, right? I haven't seen you and talked to you over like 2 months, right? Just about. We started really quickly, but we didn't get to connect during the ribbon ceremony. And I was like, I had to text like, hey, where's my girls at? Where you guys are? Because everybody needs somebody. You know what I mean? Aaliyah, kudos to you for learning how to let go. I want to say that this is the first time in 22 years that I've been in childcare that I was not there for back to school night. And I allowed my team to do, I fixed my crown. I said, I'm going to fix my crown and wear my title. And my title is an executive director. And what does that mean? So this summer, we really, with the admin team and the administrative team, we really broke down everybody's roles,
Mm.
because when you don't have clear descriptions, there's confusion,
Yes.
right? And so that's what we did. And I said to everybody, you tell me what your role is. What do you think your role is? I'm not going to rank you. I'm not going to, you have a job description. I need you to tell me, because I don't wear your shoes. And this job description might be for a job that describes something 4 years ago prior to COVID.
Right.
What does that look like today? What does your job look like today? And it was interesting to see them just really break that down. But it also made them own that, right?
Yes.
They own their descriptions. They understand what their responsibilities are at. They're holding others accountable. And I sat back and said, and I said it for, I gave them transitions, right? Transition times. And I said, for the next 3 months, I'm going to continue to remind you that I am the executive director.
I have a question. I have a question because I'm listening to you, and it just made me think how. So one of the things, and you can tell me because I don't want to kind of put this out here, but I'm listening to your process and the Leah process, but you also did something at the end of the school year that you had never done before. I don't know that has ever been done in childcare before.
So that's actually, that's a living document, right? So for those of you guys to know, I wanted to really be intentional about staffing surveys and really surveying the families that we are, because we're not perfect. It's an organization, and as I knew as we were growing, I really needed to be holistic, do a holistic approach, and really getting folks to really give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's actually how I promoted it. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I hired Obiama to come in to meet with every staff member one-on-one. They had one-on-ones with her, and there was a list of questions. And it was, I told Obiama, I only want to know what's being said data-wise. I don't care who said it. I omit that. I don't care. I want this to be where they feel comfortable enough to express, I really love Mr. Maris. However, I hate this team. Whatever it was, I was all for it. And so it took me some time to share it with my directors, because I needed to really I needed them to understand I'm good, right? After you reach a certain age, you don't care about anything, right? If you get up with makeup on, whatever, like it's like that. I'm like that with my business right now. That's the stage that I'm in, right? That I am not feeling. I know what goods I have done in my community and in my, in my businesses and my children and the staff that I serve. And I also am very aware that I have room for, to better myself, right? And to better the organization. So what a perfect time, right before the expansion came. And so that tool I used, the families was really interesting as well. Those feedbacks. Communication was always, that was a big thing, the communication component. So over the summer when we closed, we worked on the strategic planning and the CQI, quality improvement, on communication. So we added more apps, we added this, we did a parent console where the parents now are communicating with each other. So we put that in. And then we also said, while we were doing job descriptions, some of those job descriptions with communication was shared. So that way families are not confused, right? And they're not expecting just me to communicate. So this is, part of your job. You need to communicate with your families. You need to communicate with this, whatever. So that's how we did it. And honestly, it's amazing. It's never been seen. My staff did say that. It retained my staff. Everybody but one person actually is not with the organization anymore. And it's because she's been in childcare forever, and she went through very traumatic experiences, and it was time for a change, right? And I respect her for that. She's in another job, and I wish her all the best. But it kind of helped out with that recruitment retention strategies, because although we may not be perfect, but we're not the worst. Does that make sense? And they understood that the goal not only was to gather this data, but also to know that I want you to know that I hear you, right? I want you to know that you are part of this organization. One of the interesting things was that nobody knew the core values, and we shared them everywhere. Nobody knew them, right? So now we had to go back to my administrator, my admin team, and say, nobody knows the core value. So this means that we need to share, not change the core values. We're going to still,
Right.
who we are, but we need to share it differently. And how can we share it? So they came up with strategies and how to do that. So at the beginning of the year of PD week, we were like, yeah, we were like this, that, and all the changes. And I'm so happy to share that. One of the other ones is like, they don't have access to benefits like medical and insurance because it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to bring their rates down to like $50 a month for medical insurance. And I'm happy about that because my goal was to provide affordable insurance to my staff that cannot afford insurance, right? And so that those are some of my wins this year, and all because of those reports, and it really gave me this guided tool that I needed to really strengthen the childcare organization. Because like I said, when you have one, I service now, I just did the math, I service over 450 children now.
So here's the thing, going back to Aaliyah's question, where are we now? How do you know where you're going if you don't know where you've been?
And I think what was just brought up in that is that's what's not talked enough about in the childcare industry in general, and maybe some businesses, is data and the way that we use it. And it's interesting because we say CQI, we say continuous quality improvement, and we kind of use those words, but how deep did we dig? How did we go back and say, here's where I was, here's where I am, here's where I want to go? And that's why I was saying I was so inspired too at the back to school night, because they also walked us through it. And so that's what that state of the company is, right? So even as sisters, we can understand, like, okay, that's where you were. Tell us where you want to go so I can support you in that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Help get there. And I think here's the other key, in case anyone didn't catch that. When Damaris was saying about no one left, it's extremely important for us to not only be the ones to know, here's where I want to go. The team needs to know this is where we are going. And yes. I remember having to go back and break down for my team our 5-year goals and stuff. And I had to ask the question, now let's talk about where you see yourself in it. Because if the staff don't see themselves in it, then I'm just in it for you. Yeah. I'm just doing this for you, which is why when it gets tough, you're burned out. And it's like, I'm out of here. They don't care about us anyway. They think we're rich, right? They think like we get all the money. And right? But that data, and here's what I wanted to talk about too, is that's where we get our KPIs, right? Our measurables and our data based on, let's do the research and find out what's going on in the business, and that can help us drive forward. Those are like key drivers.
And the marketing aspect to that too, right? Because I got so much from the data. Now I started thinking about, how am I going to market this, right? Not market, like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I'm going to market it all, right? So, this 25% of the families in our child care center said, that communication was not very great. So therefore, Children's Playhouse created XYZ. Come join us so you can see how we're improving.
Yeah.
So, everything is like, you always take those negatives to turn them into positives in everything that you do, right? And for me, everything is money. At the end of the day, everything is going to turn into money. I don't do anything unless it's going to benefit us financially in the future, right? It might not benefit me right now in person, but I know in future, because we were able to fill our Head Start slots. We were able to fill our slots in the center. We have a wait list. That didn't happen last year. So I needed to come up with a different strategy, right? We were able to fill, more slots of teaching positions, right? Where last year, a lot of programs weren't able to do that. right? They had, classroom closures and everything in their programs. But meanwhile, we had every classroom open. And that's something at the end of the year as well. I didn't agree with every parent family response, and that's okay, right? Because they have the right to feel the way they feel, and I respect that, right? But it also every year I do like a goodbye letter, transition letter, thanking families and everything. And so I pinpointed, right, in my transition farewell letter, things that we, instead of focusing on the negatives, all the positive things that our program has done. We were able to successfully transition 125 kindergarten students into kindergarten. We were able to have 98% of our staff throughout the whole entire year, not close one classroom for the whole entire year. We were able to do this amount of stuff, so I try to focus it on that. And then those same folks, what was interesting, Obiama, is that you should have saw the responses, how positive and how thankful they were because of that wording, right? And again, that's marketing, because I didn't leave you at a bad taste. You're going to go out and be like, listen, they had a rocky year, but so did everybody. You should go there because this is what they do. And this is what they did.
And here's the other part. As I'm listening to you, it also allowed you to have a bird's eye view. You were able to see opportunities for growth, right? And you were also able to see where there were holes and to plug them. So one of the things that I also love, just from the person collecting the data, because I was getting excited by collecting the data because of the possibilities, because now like before, all of those things was in your blind spot, but it's like, but now I know they're no longer in my blind spot, and I have the resources and the capacity to fill the holes.
Yes.
And so what's interesting, because of course what came to mind, right? SWOT analysis. And so
Yes.
depending on how you look at that, either you could be like, here's all our weaknesses, or that could be an opportunity for improvement that you can turn that around, market it, improve the program, and now new and improved, who's coming. Right?
So when we were creating that, it was with the SWOT analysis in play, right? So, in childcare, there's not a lot of tools and resources, and we have to create them.
Yes.
We have to create them. Everything that we
do. A lot of it is created. They're just in the business world, and if we don't expand into thinking about business tools,
to bring into, and then put it where you crosswalk it in the childcare realm, that's really what it is, right? We're going to do a SWOT analysis. You grab that and you talk about, and you think about the childcare realm in a whole, right? But some folks don't know how to separate or how to bring them both together. They either childcare or they're business only, right? I noticed
Obiama is a master communicator.
Sorry, y'all.
Hey, yes, you are. Yes, you are. But yeah. So when we look at businesses that are childcare center and they run it as a business, those are usually the bigger ones, right? They have a board, they have all this other stuff, they have multiple funding streams, they run it like a business, they understand the assignment. But there's the ones that are running it like a childcare business. Those are usually like the smaller childcare centers, the ones that are in family FCC programs, because they're in their home and they have a different type, not a different type of, I guess a different connection, right, with their families, because they're more closer to the families, right? I cannot be close to 400 something families. So there's no way I could do that. So they have more of a personal connection, and they forget, right? It's okay to love, but it's okay to love you first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned this a long time ago. I'm going to love myself first, unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't help communities, I can't help staff, I can't help children that serve and families. And trust me, we do a lot of community service within our organization to support our children. But I can't do that without thinking business wise, because if I don't have staff or if my business goes down, I can't give you this anymore. Right. So, that's that balance that a lot of people are not, um, I guess they're not there yet. And I wish we had more resources for them.
Yeah, and yeah, yes, yes.
But now here's the thing though. Here's the thing. People have to make a choice to invest in what they need, just like the two of you. So that's the other part of that, because the three of us are coaches, but before we came coaches, in order to get to where we are, we started at A, or we started in preschool, and we all there's such a level playing field here where we all started at the same space. Like the three of us all started at the high school level. We all started at the associate's degree level. That's how the three of us connected, right? And so 20 years later, because of our consistent investment in our own personal and professional and business development, we are now here and we're able to share. And people have to choose to invest in themselves and not be caught up on what somebody else is making, what somebody else's potential is, what somebody else's progress is. How about you invest in your own potential and your own progress?
I said this before we got off online. I'm not going to say why I did it. Not every barbecue is a good barbecue, guys. Right. So, I see a lot of like promotions and coaching, and I can show you how to do this and show you how to do that. And I'm like, okay, I don't kill anybody's hustle. I don't criticize anybody's hustle, right? I invest in what I know is going to make me come into another space level. And if you see that you continue investing in something that's not moving you, stop investing and look for other stuff. Stop staying stuck with the same people, same group, same thing. My mom and my grandma, they always used to tell me, like, you can count your friends with your hand, right? Your real friends, right? And
Mhm.
I could say the same thing about business people, right? And sisters like you guys. Like, I will call you guys and be like, hey, this happened. What do you guys, and I know that I'm gonna get an authentic response. It's not gonna be like, oh, I'm hating. You know what I mean? Like, I see Aaliyah post all the time. I love your content. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, girl, yes, fire, and I'm gonna share it because that's who I am, right? Obiama, I just saw your gal. I was like, whoa, that's amazing, and we try to support each other as much as we can. That's what we need more of as well. And I feel like, I don't know. I think people are just stuck with the
Yeah.
same old, and then they complain and complain, but you're not doing nothing about it, right? So until you realize that you have to make those changes
Yes.
and love thyself.
Yeah. And you know what I think is interesting too, is even me learning more about marketing and stuff, and people, they talk to the pain point. They talk to, right, like when you think about Tylenol, things like that, we usually go get it when we're in pain. And so that's unfortunate. But here's the thing. When you are tired of being tired, or tired of the paycheck to paycheck, I will never forget the feeling of the budget impasse. I was like, no, can't do this, cannot do it. And I started looking for that multiple funding stream. I was like, it has to be different. There has to be a way. And that's when I started reaching out to the community. We were talking about it not too long ago, Obiama. I went to Porter's. I called
Mhm. Mhm.
I call them the twins. There were so many people,
Yes.
they all opened their door to me, and I just was like, can I research Mary Grant? I'm like, can you let me see
Right.
what's possible? And then I can frame what I want. I knew it was possible at that point. It is truly possible. And I think what's amazing too is you mentioned, Obiama, it's been 20 years. We've been like loosely connected, and now it's 20 years. And that, going back to you saying, those small drops of commitment and action that we took 20 years later, this is it. This is it. And so it's not too late. The other thing I love about us is that we have these experiences. I can, you don't have to go on and on, but we have these experiences where we connect with people and we share it. We share it with one another, right? And so this is what we're going to do. We didn't plan this, but we're going to share this. This is an invitation because not only are we back, but the Impact Summit is back.
Yes, yes.
It really wasn't, and I promise, if anyone knows us, right, we don't do shameless plugs or anything. We really just invite. If you want to come and experience the people that we have connected with to really see what.
And you should be there. Right. Here's the thing. I'm going to do the plug. I'm sorry.
It's
right?
not shameless.
I'm going to do the plug. If you are tired of being tired, if you are struggling with your business, or if you are stuck and don't know what next direction you want to do, if you watch Shark Tank, you can't figure out how to be genuine and create something, you need to be at this Impact Summit. I'm going to be serious. That's it. I'm sorry. I am so tired of people being like, oh, I couldn't make it. But then you call me the next week to complain that your business is not working. You have to yourself, sis. We make it affordable enough for you to do that. It's not like it's $10,000 to come and join and get all these goodies, right? We don't make money. This is our community work. This is the way that we give back to the community, right? Don't get me started because it just pisses me off every time somebody says I couldn't make it. Okay.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you want something different, you have to do something different. And that doing something different means that you have to take a courageous action in changing your proximity and your circle of influence. And what I love about this year's summit is that our focus is on circles of impact. And this is not just going to be information and you come and you're going to network and you're going to get some stuff and then you're going to go home or go back to your business and it's going to sit. That is not what this is. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but what I am going to tell you is that the investment that you make today in yourself, moving around whatever you need to move around in terms of your schedule to be there. What I promise you is that this information will allow you, if you choose, because it's a choice, to literally springboard you into the best year that you have ever had.
Give them the date. Hurry up.
Yes. November 2nd.
So excited. Listen.
Yes. November 2nd. From what time to what time? Say it.
9 to 5. 9 to 5. 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Can we share like the flyer on the chat?
It's coming out. Yes.
It's coming out. Oh my God. Listen.
Can we share just a little bit? Give them a little nuggets, just a little bit.
All right.
Some of the questions out of the 10.
Okay. Listen. For those of you who need funding for your business, we got you. For those of you who need a business plan, we got you. For those of you who want to expand into real estate, we got you. For those of you who need to network and impact your current circle of influence, we got you. For those of you who are like, I'm a hands-on learner, I don't really read and I don't this and I don't do that, we got you.
Wait, we didn't tell them what was new at the Impact Summit. We have not
had. Tell them, Aaliyah. Go.
For all of my childcare business owners, for some reason you didn't feel like you were a part or that we weren't speaking to you. Oh, we were always speaking to you, but this time you have your own circle of influence. What we are literally bringing childcare business is its own circle within the circle of all the other influences.
So you know that we were just talking about preparing for the future, not looking and staying stuck, bringing SWOT analysis over and making it work for your childcare program, the marketing, the data that we had to recreate. You'll learn all of that on that day. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. And
November 2nd.
And it's how much? Can you tell them now? Because
Listen.
just let them know now.
I'm gonna say it's one night early bird 197. How about that? The early bird is 197. Only now for the next 2 weeks. Aaliyah don't even know, and I'm putting this out here. Only for 2 weeks 197 because the value. Guys, you don't even understand what we've curated, the intimacy, the hands-on. Like we have literally labored over how we could best serve you.
Yep.
And so for 197, what you're going to get is a small, we're talking about, what will cost you and what will save you. Because the 197 you spend on an outfit or you spend on dinner, depending on how you make up. And for those of you that love bags, you spending way more than 197 on a bag or on some shoes. So I'm just saying.
And a lot of our presenters are Goldman Sachs business presenters. With their own organizations, their own business practices, they're experts. They're experts. So it's not like you're going to come and hear the same old people that don't know and cannot relate to what the topics that they're going to be talking about. These are experts in their topics, in those topics. So yeah, 197 is actually a steal. There's also a session that I want to talk to my fellow nonprofit organizations out there, or anybody that is looking to do nonprofit organizations and want to learn how. There is a session on nonprofit organization structures. So yeah, we thought of a lot. There's a lot of more goodies. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but there is so much.
And guess what? That's only $6.50 a day. That's lunch money. That's a cappuccino.
So,
right?
For $6.50, those little infomercials, like
yes,
$6.50 a day, you can build yourself a brand new future.
Yep.
A brand new business, a brand new brand, a brand new opportunity. What?
Yeah. Start off fresh. Wait a minute, because listen, we're about to start a new year with Obiyama, according to the Jewish holiday. Start your year. Right? We don't have to wait until January 1st. We're starting now.
That's right.
Now, listen, I'm a student. When we're in the Impact Summit, I promise you, each and every time, I know I personally still walk away with new partnerships, new collaborations, new people, right? And it's people in my cohort now that was like at the summit. I didn't know them. I met them there, and they were talking about it the other day. I said, oh, y'all don't even know the date is coming. So we're not going to keep you long, because at this point, if you are not like, I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say, for anyone who's like, oh, let me call, what's the name, and tell them to come by yourself. Be prepared to come by yourself. Bring your laptop, bring your paper, your pen. Be prepared. Have your business cards. Be prepared to come network and leave with connections, okay? We always prepare you for success every time you come. More details to come. But otherwise,
come with an open mind. Come with open mind. Come with an open mind. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Really, really, really quick. I just want to say, for those of you that don't or know me, you know that I get very overwhelmed with so many people. Aaliyah knows this, Obiyama knows me. They know that once I do certain facial expressions that my girls know already, that they have to kind of come and play to remove me, because I get very anxious and very overwhelmed. I am going to work on that day. I've been working on that with larger things. So that's my goal for that day. I actually put that on the calendar. To speak and be sociable and be okay with it. Take breathing sessions, and I'm okay with that. That's what I'm going to work on. That's my personal goal.
And that's a perfect transition. What are you going to do? How are you going to prepare yourself for that day? And we're going to leave it at that, right? It's the Impact Podcast, right? This is all about big change, and that's what we're about. I did see in the chat, listen, Dr. Obiyama shared the book. This is Secrets from the Bible by Daniel Lappin. We'll put the link in the chat. We're not playing, y'all. That's it. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to see you guys again.
Yes.
We back.
And see, y'all wasn't ready for us to come back, but we're back. So that is what it is. We will see you soon. In the meantime, keep it cute. wait a minute, what they, okay, it's the new thing. My kids will really be upset with me. They
What
demure, right? That's the new one.
keep it
Keep demure, and I'm gonna leave you with it.
What? Wait, let me just say Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to all my folks. So this is Hispanic
Oh,
Heritage Month.
Yes, yes, yes.
I can't, leave. So yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye.
bye.
Bye.